just to show you how it works, and then we'll talk about specific things that you're going to do. So
All right.
so there's two products that there's. Oh sure. Let me know when you're
Yeah,
ready.
I should. It's funny. I came to my office to do this, and then I realized that this computer has no camera
Oh
or anything. So now I'm on my phone, and it's super small, but I
oh,
can see it.
maybe turn it sideways. That might make the screen bigger.
Let's see if it changes. It's not turning.
No. Okay.
But let me see. I've actually never used this.
I got you.
That's where we're at.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So I'll go through it slow, but as long as you can see my hands here, you're going to see everything that I'm doing. So I'm going to show you two products. One of them is probably going to pertain more to you, but we got Oil Solutions Liquid and we have Oil Solutions Powder. I'm going to be using red dyed diesel fuel here. I just use this because you can see it really good in the videos and you can see what I'm doing. Make a spill in the water, make a spill here in someone's driveway. Now, this would be a pooling oil spill. This is the only time you're going to use the oil solutions powder is for pooling oil. If the oil's just on the ground or soaked into the ground or it went in soil, you're not going to use this. This is basically for oil that you could see, like you walk into a basement, and there's 6 inches of oil over the floor. The big takeaway from using the powder here is you have to apply it until you have white powder on top. Oh, good. There we go.
Yep.
Okay. Is that you or me?
What? That's like
Oh, the screen.
buffering. I don't
Yeah,
know.
the screen keeps going out. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. So the only time you're going to use that powder is for pooling oil. So let's say a garbage truck or basically let's go a hydraulic line on the side of the road. You have pooling oil. It's the only time you're going to use the powder, and you apply it until you have white powder on top. Two cool features about this powder is one, it works right away, and two, you can't waste it. So if I just keep dumping and dumping here, it's not doing anything. It already captured all the fuel. I could take all the unused oil solutions powder and sweep that off, and you get all that back. And then here's all my oil. And even if it's raining outside or anything, there's no rainbow, no sheen, nothing coming off this. You come back with a big stiff broom or a scraper, you scrape it up, and within a couple of minutes, you get dry, non-toxic rubber that can go right into the garbage when you're done. Um, Now, this is probably gonna. The next part of this is probably gonna fall more into what you do. So you can see on the table here, you can see that stain that's on the table. Can you see that? Okay.
Yep.
So let's say a spill happened yesterday or happened 3 weeks ago or happened 10 years ago. And you have a parking lot or somebody's property that just has, oil stains all over it. So forget about the powder now. We're not going to do that anymore. Now we're going to go to it's the same product. It's just in liquid form. And it's called Oil Solution Step 1 and Step 2, and you put the step one on and the step two. I like to do it at the same time because you could do it. You could put it in sprayers. You could pour it on, and you also want to put it in equal portions. So you want to try to keep it as equal as possible. It's not fatal if you don't make it in equal portions. It just gets a little watery. You'll know that you nailed it if when you do it, it turns to that nice white gel that you get there right away. That means you hit it perfect. For perfect 50-50 mix with step one and step two. It's just that's the best it's going to work. But if it's a little milky or watery, that means you're doing uneven proportions, and it's not. It'll still work, but it's a little sloppier. So this turns to a gel. It'll lift the oil from the street from whatever surface you're working on, and it will. And then basically, it'll. You come back the next day, and the stain will either be gone, 100% gone, or it'll be lighter. So the reason I'm telling you that is sometimes if the oil has a real chance to bake and really set into the surface, sometimes a second application might be necessary. I've even done as many as 4 or 5 applications, but those are usually really bad ones where it's like hydraulic oil that's been there for years and years and years. But the faster you get this down, the faster you get this applied to a spill, the faster it works. The longer you let the oil sit for, then you might have to go back and do it again. So for the powder, you put it down, you clean it up right away. The liquid, you put it down, you do not clean it up. Now I know that can be tricky for certain roadways, like you can't close down a roadway, things like that. Cars are going to drive over it. So if it's an area where there's a lot of traffic, there's a lot of cars, a lot of moving parts, I usually will do a lighter coating, and then you could walk over it in the next 10 minutes. You could start walking or driving over it. So you just have to. It's like it's a tool like any other, where you have to get used to how you use it. The heavier you put it on, the better results you're going to get. Within the first 24 hours. Lighter applications, you'll have good results, but you may have to go back a couple of times. So it just depends on the client, depends on how clean they want the area, depends on the expectations, all that stuff of how you're going to use the product. I'm just going to jump over here to the water real quick. You saw me pour the fuel in the water. I'm going to grab all my unused powder and save it. And there's all my oil. Water's totally clean. I can wring that out. Nothing comes off there except a little bit of water. And all this you throw right back in the bag. It doesn't even get wet. It's hydrophobic, which means it doesn't absorb any water. Um, and your water is 100% clean. Now, there's two kinds of water spills. There's a pooling water spill, like I just did, and then there's just a rainbow sheen, like a sheen rainbow across the water. So for that, you would not use the powder. You actually use the oil solution step one only by itself. You put it in a sprayer, spray the sheen down. It'll hit it, encapsulate it, drop it to the bottom, encapsulated safely, and it'll just safely biodegrade. So that's what you use for like just oil sheen or oil rainbow sheen. So the thicker fuels, you're going to use your powder when it's heavy and pooling. The step one, step two, you're using for oil stain that's soaked into a roadway or somebody's driveway or cement or something like that. Also, the oil solutions liquid eliminates odor right away. So I don't know if you ever respond to them, but if you ever get a fuel oil spill in someone's house, as soon as you put the step one, step two down, the odor disappears like in 3 seconds. It's gone forever. But the big takeaway from the liquid is you put the step one, step two liquid on, and you do not clean it up. You just let it do its thing. If I clean this up right now, if I take a power washer or water and just wash this away, it would be like putting soap on your hands and putting your hands right under the faucet and just letting the soap just disappear. You didn't really do anything. So you need to let the liquid sit and let it do its thing. But it will remove.
What,
Oh, go
what
ahead.
would be like? What would be the shortest amount of time that you could?
Okay. So um, that question is a little deeper than what I see what you're asking, because you have clients that you got to get on and off their site, or maybe you don't have the ability to go back to that site or something. Is that why you're asking that?
So I clean gas stations,
Okay.
and I clean parking garages.
Okay.
So, and I mean, I clean all kinds of things, but in this when this purpose, I clean a gas station. I could go treat it the day before,
Hmm.
but there's going to be vehicles driving over it and
Right.
stuff,
Right.
and then the next day we're going to have to power wash it. I
Right.
mean, you know, um,
So
I would
also
say,
also with this, the power washing, if you're cleaning up oil stains and oil-based things, as you know already, the power washing is irrelevant. It doesn't do it. It doesn't work. So you don't have to power wash this. That would be an overkill, extreme overkill. This when this dries. So when you come back a few hours later or the next day, this dries into sand. So if you came with a broom, it would be just as good a cleanup if you came with all your power washing equipment. Now, almost
sure,
right,
that would be if we were being hired to specifically come for one spill.
right,
But most of my customers want it as, we clean the canopy, we clean everything.
right,
So most of them would want it like, listen, we just did a whole bunch of gas stations.
right,
Any stain that came out, obviously they were happy and they expect the other ones to be there.
right.
My plan is, and it's funny that like you did come at the time you did on LinkedIn. There's something going around TikTok that is the powder, and they show videos of them cleaning gas stations,
Right.
and I was about to order it.
Okay.
So, and then I got your message, and I'd rather deal with somebody local
Sure.
anyway,
Sure.
and
Yeah, it's
I
just
wanted to
ironic.
get your time as well.
Yeah, just a coincidence there. Um, but to go back to your gas station cleanup, so I understand if you're going to their parking lot and you're just cleaning their parking lot because you're cleaning you're cleaning everything basically. That's different than what I'm showing you here today. This is specifically for oil stains. So it's two different things. So it could be an extra service that you offer too, to say, listen, we come and power wash and do our normal thing with you every year, whatever, every month, whatever we do. If you want these stains, I can get rid of these stains. It's a different process and it's a different charge for it or whatever. And then you could do it's different than power washing. It's in a different category.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And by the way, those powder things that you saw, just think about the nature of even my powder. This is not going to remove powder granulars are not going to remove oil stain because of the nature of the stain. An oil stain is oil on the ground and under the ground. So if I put granulars down, I'm not doing and it doesn't do anything. It's not going to do anything. I just tell, and even my stuff, people buy this all the time to clean stains, and I go, you bought the wrong product. Well, what do you mean? So I go, you need the liquid. This is for above the ground. This is for below the ground. So
What
it
what types of oil will it work on?
everything that comes out of a car, truck, boat, machine, anything. Hydraulic. What you're going to run into is diesel and hydraulic oil, and some motor oil too. You're going to run into those three
What
things.
what about like food grease and stuff?
Yeah, yeah,
Will
that
that
too.
work?
Yeah, food oils or oil. It's same thing. I find with the food places sometimes they let it get really bad, so I always prep people to say, listen, it's going to be a couple of applications. After one, like let's do one, and then you'll see it working. Everybody who does one application, they come back and they'll call me and go, hey, the stain's still there. And I go, do you have any pictures? Do you have any information? They go, oh yeah, and they'll show me pictures, and they'll be on the site, and they'll say, well, yeah, and then they'll go, then they offer up afterwards. They'll say, well, yeah, no, it's a lot better. I'm like, okay, so you see it working. All right, didn't get it all because at some point this is going to run out of steam because you're dealing with a food oil spill or a regular oil spill. It's been there for possibly months or years. So
And
you,
in the case that it's constant. They're always spraying the
yes,
oil in
yes,
in places.
yes, yes.
So I clean a lot of restaurants also.
Okay.
So I mean, I definitely see a need. I would love to give it a shot.
Yeah, it's something too where I also would encourage you uh, to try it once or twice on your own property, get used to it. The one negative to the product is the powder, there's no negatives. The liquid, when it's done, it leaves a little bit of a white chalkiness in the surface that you just cleaned. So you'll see the oil spill's gone, but now it looks like you took kids like white chalk and kind of rubbed it on the spot that you cannot get rid of. There's nothing you can do to make that move faster. It's actually still working is what it is. So you have to just wait for it to disappear. If it's a high traffic area, it'll go away pretty quick in a week or two. It could, if you put a heavy application on, it could last a few months, but every week it'll get lighter and lighter and lighter. So the first couple of days they're going to be like, hey, what the hell is this? And then after a week or two, they're going to forget about it because it's going to get light. It's going to lighten up, and then it's going to just disappear. If you tell your client that ahead of time, they will have no problem with it. I guarantee
Right.
it. When I first started with this is going back over 20 years ago. I had complaints all day long because people just went out and used it and they had that white chalk, and I didn't warn anybody about it. And then I remember the first day I had a big client. I said, listen, this is what's going to happen. You're going to probably do two applications. After the oil's gone, you're going to be very happy, but it's going to leave a little white chalkiness, and then the white chalkiness will disappear. Everybody says the same thing. Well, can I power wash it to get rid of the chalkiness? I go, no, you can't. There's nothing you can do. It'll just disappear on its own. And 100% of people are like, okay, and then they know going in that that's going to happen. They have no problem with it. If you don't tell them, they're going to have a problem with you because they're gonna think it's this. I had an oil stain, now I have a white stain. Like, what's the difference? And I still have the same thing. But if you tell them up front, and then they see that the oil's gone, or at least way lighter than it was, and then nobody's ever been able to move it faster, that's really what you're going to get the win on. People are going to say, "Oh my god, like that's never been clean. Like that oil stain's been there forever. This is great. I can hardly see it." And that goes into also the expectations of clients, where some people are going to want just you to do something. Some people are going to want maybe a little more, where maybe you're doing two applications for that customer, and some customers are going to want it clean, like it never happened. So you might be doing three or four applications, but you charge for each one, and as long as they understand the process and they're willing to go through it with you, you should be able to charge for it, and they should get the great results. Also, there's nothing toxic in here too. You see, I'm not wearing gloves. There's nothing in here that can hurt you. You could wash your hands with this stuff. You could dump this all over your lawn. You wouldn't hurt one blade of grass. There's no negatives to using it on anybody's property for any toxicity or hazardous material or anything like that. Your dog.
And
Mm,
it's good on any type of surface,
yeah,
asphalt,
yeah, yeah.
surface.
Any surface, any fuel. The only surface you can't use it on is glass. it'll actually kind of haze the glass up. That white chalkiness kind of hazes the glass. I only had one guy do that in my whole career, and it did actually disappear. So he got away with it because it does disappear. But and mainly also what I try to figure out right up front is this an oil cleanup project or is it a beautification project? And what I mean by the oil cleanup product is people just want you to clean the oil up and they're willing to go through it with you just so you clean it up. The beautification project is scares me because that's usually someone who, an oil spill happened on their property. It's never happened before. It's pretty bad. It is ruining their pavers and their driveway, and they want to go back in time like it never happened. I kind of back off those people because I'm like, your expectations are, I can't help you because there's a process to this.
And of course, I do a lot of houses as well,
Yeah.
but not, that's not a regular. Um, of course,
Right.
when we power wash somebody's patio, they're like, "Oh, I thought that the grease was going to come out." I'm like, it's lighter even with like
Right.
regular
Right.
stuff, but I
Right.
was like, that could, but I mean, now that if I had the product, I could offer it to them. But
Right.
I'm more, I wash a lot of trucks, so same thing. I have garbage companies that they break hoses, we go clean it up.
That's my
Garbage.
biggest that's my biggest ticket in the whole country are garbage companies. I have some companies like yourself, like Texas, Florida, they follow these guys around. They use this stuff every day, all day long, just chasing these trucks down. They drive down the block, leaving the line down the block. That's a home run. If you offer that service to your garbage companies that you could clean up those stains from the hydraulic oil, you'll start a whole new business doing that.
Yeah, I mean, and I do it, but I just never had a real product
Right.
that's perfect
Right.
at.
Right.
I try to, I'm like, we'll get what we can get
Right.
out,
Right.
and then we'll get what's on the top.
Right.
And I mean, between New York and Connecticut, I do a decent amount of garbage trucks.
Okay, that's my biggest ticket. That's if you could just get them going, you'll have a side business just following them around with the stuff. And I'm going to send you a video of me. A garbage truck ran down my block. I have these powered sprayers. I get them on Amazon. These are like $50, and they have an internal battery. They last weeks. Their batteries are amazing, and I get two of them, one for step one for step two, one on each
I saw
shoulder,
your video.
and I spray it at the same time. And then that's it. That's all you have to do. You don't now you could just charge for that, and you do not have to go back and power wash. If you want to go back and add a service on where you do that, you can. But really, that's all you have to do is treat that and do it, and you should be able to get double what you're getting for power washing because you
So
really.
what sizes do they come in? Like, what
Oh, yeah.
product?
So all the regular sizes. I would never recommend this. This is my demo size. The 1 gallon jugs are pretty good and handy to have. The 5 gallon pails are my most popular, and then companies that use it on a regular basis usually either buy 55-gallon drums or 275-gallon totes, because I will. And now we're close by. We're a few towns away from each other. Um, so it's available to you to go pick it up when you need it. But what's gonna happen. You're gonna call me on a Friday night at 5 o'clock. Everybody's gone, and that happens every Friday. So all the different sizes, but as you get into, I would say for a minimum, I'd do the 5 gallon pails for someone like yourself, and then as you start using it and you gain customers who call you for this, I'd probably go to like a 55-gallon drum just so you have it ready to go. Because again, the faster you get it down, the faster your problem is solved. Every day you let it sit, it's like a bad tooth. It just keeps getting worse. It's still going to work, but it's just going to take longer now. It's going to be more of a
Where
process.
where are you located?
We're in Amityville.
Oh, okay, yeah, we're almost that one.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, it sounds great. I mean, honestly, I mean, again, I have a bunch of different places where it could be beneficial. I think I would love to get, maybe like a gallon of each to start,
Sure.
and I'll go do a demo at, I do the Busy Bees, and
So
that would
for
be
those,
great.
what I usually encourage people to do, like yourself, is number one, you use it on your property and see how it works. It just takes a day, so you'll say maybe do a light one and a tough one, and then just look at it the next day. The light one will be clean the next day, and the real tough one you're gonna have to do another application. Um, then what I always recommend, if you're going to go to a Busy Bee or somebody, maybe the garbage companies, And I usually will take a stain and then like tape it off, tape half the stain off, and then just treat a little section. Because whenever you show somebody, don't do a gigantic stain, because you're just wasting product. Just do a little, a little 3 foot by 3 foot area, and then they're going to see the difference, and then they're going to tell you they're going to buy right into it, because no one can do that. It's really, it kind of is a product that sits by itself.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, I definitely have in my shop. There's definitely oil stains and things that I could definitely give it a shot.
Also, be
Um,
careful too. Sometimes I go. This is rare, but sometimes I'll go to somebody's shop to demo, and they'll show me a stain, and it's not even an oil stain anymore. It's just a discoloration, discolored concrete. There's no oil there, and I go, that's not an oil stain. That's just the concrete has been bleached out from whatever oil was there 10 years ago. That's not. So make sure you give it a fair chance. Make sure you know it's an oil stain. You know what I mean?
okay.
Yeah. Now, if you want, to make it real easy, whenever you're out and about, or one of your guys is out and about, I'll email you. In fact, I emailed you already, so my address is in your email. Um, but just I'm a wholesale operation, so my guy's there from 9:30 to about 3:30 Monday through Friday. So if you just let me know when he's coming by, grab a gallon and play around with it.
And what are the costs?
So it's $40 for the gallon, but you get a gallon of step one, gallon of step two, so it's 2 gallons technically. And then when you move up to the 5 gallon, it's 165 for both. You get two 5 gallon pails. That's probably the better value product to go with, is the 5 gallon.
All right, that's actually really pretty good.
It's
Um,
everybody tells me the same thing. I get two things every time I first meet somebody. First, when I tell them those prices, some people, they get sticker shock. They're like, "Whoa, that's expensive," because they're comparing me to Dawn soap, basically, you know, or some kind of industrial degreaser that's pennies. It doesn't really cost much. Then I have people who, when they, and this happens 100% of the time, when they start using it, everybody reports back to me within the first few months or year on how much they're saving using the product. Like, say, but without having to call an environmental company or lose a job, or not even try the job because you don't have the right product to clean it with. But it really should be a savings for anybody that's involved with using the product, based on calling an environmental company.
yeah, I mean, but it's crazy. I have chemicals that we use in power washing that are costing me 60, 80. My graffiti remover is costing me 350 for 5 gallons.
Wow,
So
wow, wow.
it's
Okay.
I mean, that's what, to me, that $40 a gallon. That's not really that bad.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, I would definitely love to try to use it. And again, like I have so many customers who I do this type of stuff for anyway without a real product.
Right.
Most of them are just concerned with getting like, all right, if I have a tree truck breaks a hydraulic line on somebody's driveway, their biggest focus is let's just get the stuff off the top.
Right.
And that's, we're equipped to do that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
pulling the stain out, pulling the oil out rather, is something that's more challenging.
Yeah.
Between hot water and some degreaser, like we usually do okay. I mean, listen, I've used Dawn soap, right? Like, I'll put Dawn soap on something the day before I know we're gonna power wash it
Right.
to help draw it out a little bit, and
Hmm.
then we'll wash it. What you're left with is what you're left with. It's the
Right.
best I can do.
Right. Right.
So
This
no,
is this
I
is
mean,
a. I'm glad you said that, because that's totally honest, everything you just said, and that's probably like 99% of the companies like you in the country. And this is a real step up from that. This is like, once you use it and you know it works, and you go to somebody's property and you explain the process, which is very important. I can't uh, tell you, that's like the most important thing, is to tell people how it works. um
right.
because if you surprise them, it doesn't go well. um and then really leaving the property completely clean, like it was before the spill, is just, you're in a league by yourself at that point.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I love it. Like I said, I have so many different customers that this could work for.
Okay.
I started the business as a truck wash
Hmm.
10 years ago, and I owned the tow company from 19 years old to 32 years old.
Right.
So I've broken every type of hydraulic line and gas line, and and had these issues, and then I just wash trucks. But again, my truck wash customers